Buzz, 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 buzz. Yeah, wow. Oh my gosh, I can see myself from above where I'm sitting. Wow, what's happening right now? Oh, I just realized from Federico Fagin that apparently consciousness is just something that exists from the quantum field. And apparently it doesn't necessarily have to do with the body that we're seeing ourselves and our mind's eye through and the eyeballs that we're seeing our visualization through. Federico Fagin is what is known as a researcher who has studied the quantum field for years on end. And he is apparently saying that as you are seeing yourself from above yourself, if there are certain near-death experiences, for example, that in essence it means that in essence consciousness exists from outside of your body, in essence like a drone that is flying in a different part of the world, and in essence that is like a depiction of a symbol of an analogy of what your body is. In essence, that is what that analogy refers to, more or less, so meaning that if you have an out-of-body experience or if you have a near, close to the end-of-life experience, so to speak, that you still have consciousness, for example, that eye, that third eye, in essence, where you're able to see yourself from an out-of-body experience, from having no brain, no activity in terms of an internal body sense, is a correspondence to having consciousness that exists within and connected to a quantum field, in essence, in a connection to a quantum field that corresponds to everybody and everything becoming one energy, and everybody and everything being one energy in a quantum field energy, in essence, an entirely connected and connective systemization that corresponds to everybody in the world, which also is something that I've called many times in the past the global philanthropy energy grid, that we're all trying to add to by doing good deeds for everybody else in the world. And on that note, in that place of where we're trying to pick up now from in this podcast, welcome to the news, by the way, what we're trying to get at is being able to start to make things by transcending and transmitting different frequencies through the quantum field to be able to achieve goals, in essence, by transitioning kinetic energy to potential energy into kinetic energy, in essence. So, in essence, potential energy just means things that can happen potentially, conceivably, and in essence, we're trying to leverage the ability to streamline and develop kinetic energy through potential energy, in essence, by making things real, in essence, that are not real, in essence, by leveraging diversification of relationships, in essence, diversifying your relationships, in essence. So in essence, you take friendships and you're able to transition friendships into businesses and start to transition every single relationship and every single friendship that you have into businesses, so that in essence, you're able to trick the quantum field by not being able to actually try to chase money, by not being able to try to actually chase monetary energy, but in essence, by playing a game, in essence, by starting to develop business games out of all of your friendships, in essence, by, in essence, trying to distract yourself from the quantum field, from in the quantum game, to be able to leap through the quantum field to different places and different stages on the quantum field by trying to have fun with your friends, trying to grow different businesses, in essence. And you want to diversify your relationships, diversify your games, diversify your attempted accomplishments by being able to try to continue to leverage and hedge the ability to diversify different games being played with different friends in different instances, to be able to try to grow different companies, to then be able to try to eventually sell those companies, exiting those companies is sort of the goal for all of those friend dynamics, to be able to grow business dynamics, in essence, by leveraging and diversifying different friend relationships. You're, in essence, just trying to gamify the game of business by diversifying enough so that, in essence, if one or many or a handful of them fail, in essence, some of them maybe can succeed, and eventually that it is possible, conceivably, to be able to try to exit some of those businesses and then gain higher rewards. And then eventually continue to play the games, in essence, in this fashion, but you're just having fun. In this instance, you're not actually worried about losing or winning necessarily, because you're just playing the game to have fun. And in this instance, you're able to try to connect and transcend through the quantum field. You're able to transcend down the quantum field, in essence, consuming the concept that, in essence, the quantum field is conceptually connected to and aligned with the essence of a sports field. Like you're playing on a sports field, the quantum field is a sports field in a pretend sense, because in this instance, we're trying to make the essence of games and monetary energy that you're chasing to be able to win monetary energy at the end of the game, like connecting with the idea to be able to diversify friendships, and be able to diversify friendships, in essence, to then, therefore, just continue to play games on the field, continue to play games on the quantum field, so that, in essence, you're able to transition in this quantum field energy, where you're able to transition through the instance and the use and the nature of quantum energy by being able to develop potential energy and then kind of sort of transitioning that by mistake, by accident, by proxy into kinetic energy, where the realization and the actualization of selling a company, selling a brand, developing enough value by just having fun in proxy, by having fun in proxy with a friend of yours, that you're able to try to continue to build monetary energy, you're able to continue to build accidental monetary energy value and continue to build market value by having fun, having a friendship, having a continual, consistent, consecutive relationship with your friend, and you're building something at the same time, like making arts and crafts with somebody at a class, but at the same time you're doing work to try to be able to continue to build a company and build on a company and leverage the processes to build a process so that eventually you have enough value in the market to be able to sell that company at some higher rate of return, in essence, so that you can continue to recycle this process and in essence just continue to have fun, and then therefore transcend through the quantum field to be able to transition that potential energy into real acknowledged and also known as kinetic energy, which is the realization of something that was potential. And in the quantum field, it is possible, in essence, through the essence of shifting and altering and changing the dynamics of frequencies, to be able to change the dynamics of the frequencies by trying to align with higher, greater, more significant goals down the line through the quantum field, by aligning with those frequencies, so that in essence, with all these friends that you're able to develop, that you're able to develop higher values within the nature and the context of these relationship dynamics by diversifying your friendships, and then in essence, being able to try to conceptualize just being distracted from the quantum field existing to begin with and just trying to focus on games, and then by accident and by proxy aligning with higher value frequencies, so that in essence you're able to transition and then be able to sell off and exit the companies and or the brands and the valuations through developing value creation in the marketplace by proxy, by accident, by having fun with your friend and or your friends, and diversifying your friends and friendships and relationships, so that all of your friendships and relationships are able to become asset relationships, and then just by proxy you're just having fun with certain people to be able to try to continue to grow businesses and brands by continuous conceivable conceptualized growth, to then be able to translate that and transition that into a game also called business, and hopefully one that is also called for change, games for change, in essence, on the field of life, to be able to also continue to add value and continue to solve problems in the world by picking different countries where you're able to have the most impact, and then therefore adding to the global philanthropy energy grid. Yeah. So hopefully we can ultimately transcend into newer, better, more interesting futures, and be able to levitate and be able to see ourselves from outside the quantum field as we continue to practice this game and continue to practice meditation, where we're able to continue to try to align with these different frequencies, where in essence we're able to connect with the right frequencies that are able to develop transcendence through the quantum field, to be able to develop a greater, higher value worth of self, and greater value worth of connected, collaborative, and combined package frameworks of consciousness. Yeah. Oh, and now we will merge back into our bodies to be able to end this episode and close out with the mindset that we exist within a quantum field of consciousness, like Federico Fagin has originally sort of outlined for us, to be able to merge with our bodies and then be separate at the same time. So let's entertain all the conceptual possibilities at the same time, just like quantum energy wants us to do. And say thanks again. Bye for now. Dig Tech, bye, peace, bye. Dig Tech Change for Game Studios, bye. Dig Tech Change for Games, bye, peace, bye.